Hello to the chicos and the chicas. Today's video is sponsored by a legendary man who goes by the name of Mo. Shout out to Mo, who actually paid for this video to be recorded. In fact, he paid for 5. He sent me a generous donation and he requested 5 inside my head videos to be published. Why are we on the wrong layout? There we go, because we are professional YouTubers. 5 videos to be published in the theme of inside my head before this year is out. So I have got about, I don't know, 45 days. Oh no, not that many. 40 before we finish. So 5 videos, and this is the first one, and right away the commentary. So the rubbish opening, I don't know what it's called. The Owen's defense is a6 b5. I think this is the worst version of that. And here, after knight f3, black played bishop b4 check. It goes under the category of mistakes in shape of early checks, which are usually punished by a simple pawn block. And what that means is that the bishop has to go. And I did intend to play c3 anyway, because very often in this formation the knight goes to d2 rather than to c3, mostly to prevent the pin on the knight and simply just to enjoy the space advantage that is provided by the central pawn formation. My opponent continues to play very passively, and that kind of wants me to have a red-hot go at him. I'm going to play queen e2 with the idea of, as soon as the knight lands on f6, I'm gonna engage with e5 and provoke a fight. Now, I don't know if this is objectively the best move, but it certainly is one of the best ideas in the circumstances, because I would like to provoke fight. And fighting is good. When you are covering a 1300 rating gap, you want a lively position, active position. You want situations where captures are on, tactics are on, the board is full of life, and yeah, it's just tremendous fun, rather than a timid maneuvery type of game where, you know, you can't necessarily immediately put your greater knowledge to use. Now, that being said, this of course is just mumbo jumbo talk, as long as the moves that I'm playing are not at least to a large degree sound. But of course, advancing in the center, y5, kicking a developed knight, is definitely sound. Then chucking a knight on e4, centralizing my pieces, and also covering the knight f4 fork, by the way, is also definitely sound. Another type of a rookie error there with h6, useless move he should be developing. Having said that, knight g5 at times can be a little bit pesky, so it's understandable, but definitely not a good move. My opponent is wondering why we are playing it, and he's asking for mercy. So yeah, we are anticipating here. I was about to say knight c6, knight d7, castles, or c5. Knight c6 is an interesting move because it sort of blocks up the diagonal and also disallows black to play c5, but at the same time it keeps the position rather compact. And since my opponent is not really willing to reveal their hand in terms of where they want to castle, I do not want to commit to aggression yet. So I'm going to play bishop d2, a move that I would critique probably if my students played it, calling it a semi-move or a half move, because it's not really doing too much. In hindsight, actually, I quite like the idea of a3. A very odd move. Now I just rained on his parried with h6 being a bad move, and I want to play a3, but note the difference. a3 would create the game-winning threat of c4, trapping this knight in the middle of the board. So I actually do regret having played bishop d2, but now unfortunately our opponent blundered. Yeah, bishop d2 was meant to be followed up by rook d1 and then create some kind of a potential discovered attack. Not x-ray, by the way. I can't miss an opportunity to rub that in to those who misuse that term. So yeah, that was the plan, but yeah, I regret that I did not play a3. So yeah, bishop g5, I'm just stalling basically to blunder because it's insufficiently guarded. I'm not counting, by the way, the defenders and the attackers. I just calculate that I take, they take, I take, and they can't take back. So for those who still like to argue with the counting the defenders and the attackers, nope. I mean, it does tell you that it's hanging, but that doesn't tell me what to play. What tells me what to play is precise calculation, which is going to be that I'm taking with this knight. And the reasoning for that is because I like my knight in the center, and after takes queen d7, I want to back up the pawn on e4, 5 rather, with f4. Now, this is a tactical and strategic blunder at the same go, because my opponent's king is stuck in the middle, but the position was close enough so that after a move like queen d7, I would not have had an immediate knockout. But after f6, my eyes are like aflame. They just like, whoo, I want to come and have a go at you, baby. So this is how it's going to go. EF, GF, and I'm looking at knight f6. Like, I'm immediately looking for murder. And after knight x f6, queen e6 check, I'm going to pick off the f6 knight no matter how they respond. So this is it. Let's go. Check, check, check. And queen takes e6 check, hitting king, hitting knight. The game is essentially over. But there are still a few opportunities for me here to play pretty chess. In terms of, for example, what to do after queen e7, when most people would be just tempted to pick up the knight or give a check, then pick up the knight. But I think that rook e1 is quite an annoying move to mate, because then I take a lot of things with check. And also, queen e7. Yeah, I've that. Oh, hello. What? Okay, so now I can take on f6, forking things. It's a very interesting phenomenon that I mentioned to you guys on this channel multiple times. That lower level players, and the lower level they are, the more this concept applies. When they blunder something, almost inevitably from there on out, they just don't have the grit and the ability to hang on, and it just becomes a snowball effect 99 times out of 100. Like here after bishop g5, queen d7 would have been quite decent, and by no means do I have a forced win. After f6, now it's pretty dark, but still, you know, there's no mate to be seen. And now after king f8, bishop takes f6, now we are adding insult to injury. That's a clever move, though. I got to give it to them. I didn't actually have anything on the ready. Yeah, that's very neat. We have to recognize that. Bishop e7 check is my #1 candidate here, which is quite a cute tactic to pick off the rook, because bishop takes rook e6 doesn't win enough material for my liking, and I need to save face. So yeah, bishop e7 check. Quite sexy, really, because now we get to pick off this rook. And now we get to pick off a queen. By the way, my opponent is playing very irrationally fast. So again, he had no reason to run here without a second hesitation when king g8 was available. So yeah, mistakes all over the shop. But the issue is here not that he's making mistakes, it's the way how they are made. It's careless, too fast. Yeah, all those kinds of things. And now queen e5 check is going to pick off the knight. Queen h5 check or queen h8 check. Actually, I'm thinking queen h8 check, king d7, bishop b5 check, c6, rook check. Yeah, the king hides. Okay, I'm not gonna go for pretty. We are just going to mop up queen h5, and this is now looking like a good time to resign. Yep, so I'm just gonna take what's given to us. So queen d6 would be a classic case of falling out of the frying pan into the fire. Oh, cheeky. I like this. I like this. I will give credit. I will give credit. Because he's setting up a mate threat. Now, I would like to model something for you here because I find it really, really educational. Tell me if I'm mistaken, but I reckon that 98% of viewers in this position with white would either play bishop e4 or rook g5, in both cases defending the mate, fending off the threat, and carrying on with an easy win. However, and this is something that I have been working on with so many students of mine, and this is one of the hardest things to learn, even though it seems so easy when it's done and you observe it. And that is none other than, in this position, the first move that I'm looking at is he's trying to talk me into, yeah, it's over, I'm getting he's getting mated. So the first move I'm looking at is rook d5 check. And the reason for that is because, and I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I have this drive of kill, 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 and that you need to go after a wounded one, right? Like, you can't let them play. And this check is really cool because after bishop takes, queen takes, I actually pick off the rook. Now, it's lame in the sense that it's not mate, but it's incredibly instructive in the sense that I flatly refuse to play a defensive move, even when it's justified. Even when it's justified, because I'm threatened with mate in 1, right? So, and I'm a rook and 700 pawns up. So I very well could just play rook g5, which, by the way, is an aggressive defensive move. But no, I'm going all out aggro. And it's not like that's my style. No, that is the right move, or at least I think it is, because I can't find anything wrong with it, and it's forcing, and I'm going to win the game next. So, yeah, bishop b5 mate, he allowed the beautiful mate. So you see now the point, right? That was a really, really instructive finish in my book. No bishop e4, no rook g5, no. Your job is to finish it off as soon as possible. And in my book, every move that is not directly aimed at finishing it off as soon as possible is not a safe move, but the opposite. And this is where my way and a lot of... sorry, let me just talk to him. He's being very nice. Yeah, my way and a lot of low-rated club level players' ways differ definitely 180 in terms of, ooh, it's a mate, I better not stuff it up because I'm winning. No. Not stuffing it up means that you finish it off in the most effective and most efficient way, and the fastest. And by fast, I mean the least amount of moves. Right? Because the fewer moves we play till the end of the game, the more likely that we are not going to mess up. Simply by, you know, rule of, or the law of large numbers or whatever. By the way, turns out that the engine says that rook d5 was the third best move. Queen h3 was a faster mate. And yeah, I'm all for it. King d8, queen h4 check, king back, bishop f5. Yeah, it's a lot of checks, but in the end it's a mate. It's gonna be a mate. So yeah, look, this was a fairly low-rated opponent who demonstrated a couple of extremely common drawbacks and falling mistakes and shortcomings in their opening, starting with a very unnecessary check, which did nothing, followed by playing, in general, very passive chess, and then a very unnecessary implosion in a position that didn't warrant it at all. Oh, by the way, bishop d2 for a second popped up as the third best move. Funnily enough, a3 is not in the top 3 with the cheeky c4 threat. The engine favors rook d1, which makes a lot of sense. I spoke about this, the idea of c4 or bishop b5 and then c4. So yeah, bishop d2 was timid, and then came the implosion. That's a blunder, and then it was followed by a blunder, and then that was followed by another blunder. So the blunders just started rolling in, and then we mercilessly went after him and finished the game off. Again, you are more than welcome to think that this is bullying because I'm, you know, this rated and he's that rated and yada yada yada, but at the same time I think it would be almost blind not to realize that sometimes this is the best way to demonstrate concepts, ideas, mentality, the right way to approach positions. And don't forget that I'm playing unrated games, so there is zero harm done in terms of lost or won rating. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, once again, shout out to Mo. Thank you very much, buddy, for supporting the channel. I would encourage everyone else to do so, or at least please smash the like button. Please leave a comment. Please leave a comment down below, and you can super thank me if you like, and I'm gonna be back with the next video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.